I finally stood up to my alcoholic mom. My mom had been drinking since I was maybe 7 or 8. At first it was just wine with dinner, then it became wine before dinner, then during the day, and by the time I hit high school, she was going through 2 bottles a day minimum. My dad left when I was 14 because he couldn't handle it anymore, and suddenly I became the parent. I'd come home from school and find her passed out on the couch with the stove still on. I learned to cook at 12 because she'd forget to make dinner. I did my own laundry because she'd leave wet clothes in the washer for 3 days until they smelled like mildew. I paid the electric bill with her debit card when I was 15 because she missed it 2 months in a row, and we almost lost power. The worst part wasn't even the drinking. It was the lies. She'd promise she'd stop. She'd cry and hug me and swear on her life she was done. Then I'd find empty bottles stuffed behind the toilet, in the garage, under her bed. She thought I was stupid. When I turned 18, I got into a college about 40 minutes away. Close enough to check on her, far enough to breathe. I moved into the dorms, and for the first time in years, I felt like I could actually focus on myself. But she'd call me drunk at 2 in the morning, rambling about how I abandoned her. She'd text me 30 times a day asking when I was coming home. I'd drive back on weekends to make sure she hadn't burned the house down. Then last month, she called me at 11 on a Tuesday night. I was studying for a midterm and I almost didn't pick up, but something told me to answer. She was crying. Said she crashed the car into a mailbox down the street. Said she needed me to come help her before the cops showed up. I asked if she was drunk and she said no, but I could hear it in her voice. That slur she thought she was hiding. I drove over there and found her sitting on the curb next to our old Camry with the front bumper completely smashed in. The mailbox was in pieces all over someone's lawn. She saw me and started crying harder, reaching out like I was gonna hug her and tell her it was okay. I didn't move. She started begging me to help her push the car home before anyone saw. Said we could fix it ourselves. Said if I really loved her, I'd help her out just this once. And something in me snapped. I told her no. I told her I was calling the cops myself. She looked at me like I'd just stabbed her. Started screaming about how I was an ungrateful brat, how she raised me by herself, how I owed her everything. I pulled out my phone and dialed. She tried to grab it out of my hands, but she was too drunk to even stand up straight. She fell back onto the curb and just sat there crying. The cops showed up maybe 10 minutes later. They made her do a sobriety test and she failed immediately. They arrested her right there on the street, screaming my name the whole time, saying I ruined her life, that I was a terrible daughter. The next morning, my phone started going off. My aunt, then my cousin, then numbers I didn't even recognize. All of them saying the same thing. How could I do that to family? How I was selfish. How mom needed support, not jail. I blocked them all and went to class. For 3 days, I felt lighter than I had in years. Then yesterday, my roommate told me someone was downstairs asking for me. I went down, and it was my mom's sponsor from her AA meetings, the one she'd been lying to for 6 months about being sober. She told me my mom got out on bail that morning, that she'd been calling everyone, spiraling. Then the sponsor looked me dead in the eye and said my mom was at a bar 2 blocks from campus right now. She'd been sitting there for hours, ordering doubles, telling anyone who'd listen that her daughter destroyed her life. The bartender called the sponsor because my mom had her number saved as an emergency contact. The sponsor pulled out her phone and showed me the location. My mom was there right now, drinking herself into oblivion in broad daylight, and I could stop it or let it happen. Then she asked me, "What do you do?" I stared at the phone screen showing the little blue dot 2 blocks away. The sponsor, her name was Jolene, kept looking at me with these sad eyes like she expected me to jump into action. Save the day. Be the good daughter one more time. What do I do? I repeated back to her. My voice sounded weird, flat. Jolene nodded. I can't get through to her. Maybe if you came with me just to talk to her, she'd listen. You're her daughter. You're the person she needs right now. I looked down at my hands. They were shaking. Not from fear or sadness, from anger. Pure, white-hot anger that I'd been pushing down for years. No, I said. Jolene blinked. I'm sorry? I said no. I'm not going. She opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, but I cut her off. You know what my mom told those cops when they arrested her? That I ruined her life. Not that she was sorry. Not that she had a problem. That I ruined everything. And now you want me to go save her again? She's sick, Jolene said quietly. Addiction is a disease. I know that. I've known that since I was 7 years old. I've been managing her disease my entire life. When does it become my turn to just be a person? The words came out louder than I meant them to. A couple of students walking by turned to look. I didn't care. Jolene's face softened. I understand this is hard. You don't, though. You met her 6 months ago at meetings she barely showed up to. I've been living with this for 11 years. 11 years of finding bottles, of checking if she's breathing, of lying to teachers about why I fell asleep in class, of missing my own life because I was too busy managing hers. I could feel tears starting, but I refused to let them fall. Not here. Not now. If I go to that bar, I continued, she'll cry and apologize and promise to change, just like she's done 100 times before. And tomorrow she'll blame me for something else. The cycle never ends unless someone breaks it. Jolene was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "So you're just going to let her sit there?" "I'm going to let her face the consequences of her own choices." For once, I handed her phone back and walked toward the dorm entrance. She called after me. "What if something happens to her?" I stopped but didn't turn around. Then that's her choice too. I made it to my room before the shaking got worse. My roommate Tessa was at her desk with headphones on, bobbing her head to whatever music she was listening to. She didn't notice me come in. I sat on my bed and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. "Text from Jolene, she's asking for you. Please reconsider." I put my phone face down on my nightstand. It buzzed again 5 minutes later. Then again. Then a call. I declined it. Tessa finally noticed something was wrong and pulled her headphones off. "You okay?" "Yeah." My voice cracked. "No, I don't know." She waited. That's one thing I loved about Tessa. She didn't push. My mom's sponsor wanted me to go drag her out of a bar. "Your mom's the one who..." Tessa trailed off. I told her some of it. The basics. Enough to explain why I never went home for holidays. "Yeah. Did you go?" "No," Tessa nodded slowly. "Good. That's all she said. Just good. Like it was that simple. Like I hadn't just potentially signed my mother's death warrant by refusing to enable her one more time." My phone rang again. This time it was my Aunt Darcy. I stared at it until it went to voicemail. 30 seconds later, another call. Then a text. "Your mother is having a breakdown and you're just ignoring everyone?" What kind of daughter does that? The kind who's tired, I wanted to text back. The kind who's been drowning trying to keep someone else's head above water. The kind who finally realized she can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Instead, I just blocked her number. For the next 2 hours, my phone kept lighting up. Different family members. Numbers I didn't recognize. All of them with the same message in different words. "You're selfish. You're cruel. How could you abandon your mother when she needs you most?" None of them asked how I was doing. None of them wondered if maybe, just maybe, I needed support too. Around 6, Tessa ordered pizza. We sat on her bed eating straight from the box and watching some reality show where people renovated houses. It was mindless and perfect. My phone had finally stopped buzzing. Then at 8:30, it started again. This time it was a call from the local hospital. My stomach dropped, I answered. "Is this the daughter of Patricia Hensley?" "Yes. Your mother was brought in about an hour ago. She was found unresponsive at a local bar. Can you come down to Mercy General?" The nurse's voice was professional, clinical. She'd probably made 1,000 calls like this. "Is she..." I couldn't finish the question. "She's stable. The doctor will explain more when you arrive." I hung up and just sat there. Tessa was watching me. "Hospital," I said. "She's stable. You going?" "I have to, right?" Tessa shrugged. "Do you want to?" Did I want to? What kind of question was that? She was my mother. Of course I had to go. Except maybe I didn't. Maybe wanting to do something and having to do something weren't the same thing anymore. I picked up my phone and called my dad. We hadn't spoken much since he left 4 years ago. He'd tried at first, but eventually the weekly calls became monthly, then every few months, then just birthday texts. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Hello?" "Dad, it's me." "Hey, kiddo." "Everything okay?" I told him. All of it. The arrest? Jolene showing up, the hospital call. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, there was a long silence. "You don't have to go," he finally said. "She's my mom, and she's my ex-wife, the woman I spent 16 years with. I know exactly what you're feeling right now, and I'm telling you, you don't owe her this. But what if she what? Dies? Then she dies having made her own choices. You've been setting yourself on fire to keep her warm since you were a kid. When does it stop?" Hearing him say it out loud made something crack open in my chest. "I feel like a terrible person," I whispered. "You're not. You're someone who's been put in an impossible situation by someone who should have protected you. Your mother is sick, yes. But that doesn't mean you have to keep sacrificing your own life for hers." We talked for another 20 minutes. By the end, I wasn't shaking anymore. I didn't go to the hospital that night. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and twice as many texts. I'd turned my phone on silent after talking to my dad and crashed hard around midnight. Most of the messages were from my Aunt Darcy and my cousin Emmett. A few from numbers I didn't know. All of them said basically the same thing. That I was heartless, that I'd regret this, that my mother almost died, and I couldn't even be bothered to show up. There was one message from Jolene at 3 a.m. Patricia was released this morning. They gave her IV fluids and monitored her overnight for alcohol poisoning. She'll be okay physically. Wanted you to know in case you were worried. I wasn't sure if I was worried or not. I felt numb, like I was watching everything happen to someone else. Tessa knocked on my door around 9. "There's someone here to see you." My heart jumped. "My mom?" No, some lady. Says her name is Jolene. I went downstairs in my pajamas and bare feet. Jolene was standing in the lobby, looking tired. She had 2 coffees in her hands. I'm not here to guilt you, she said immediately. I brought peace offerings. She held up the coffees. We sat on the bench outside. It was one of those perfect fall mornings, cool but sunny, with leaves starting to turn orange and yellow. The kind of morning that felt wrong for heavy conversations. Your mom's been calling me every hour, Jolene said. Wants to know how to reach you. I told her I couldn't help her with that. Thanks. I also told her that maybe you weren't answering for a reason. That maybe she needed to think about why her daughter felt like she had to cut contact. I looked at her in surprise. Jolene smiled sadly. I've been sober for 12 years. Worked the steps, got my 1-year chip, my 5-year, all of it. You know what the hardest part was? Facing the damage I'd done to my own kids while I was drinking. Really facing it. Not just saying sorry and expecting everything to be fixed. Did they forgive you? One did. One didn't. And I had to accept that was okay. That I didn't get to decide how they healed from what I put them through. We drank our coffee in silence for a while. Your mom's not ready, Jolene said finally. She's still in that place where she thinks everyone else is the problem. Until she gets past that, nothing's going to change. So what am I supposed to do? Whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, even if that means walking away. After Jolene left, I went back to my room and finally opened all those text messages. Read every single one. Each guilt trip, each accusation, each demand that I be the person they wanted me to be instead of the person I actually was. Then I started typing a message. Sent it to everyone who'd messaged me. I love my mom. But loving someone doesn't mean setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. I've spent my whole life trying to fix a problem I didn't create, and I'm done. If that makes me a bad daughter, then I guess I'm a bad daughter. But at least I'll be a bad daughter who gets to have her own life. I hit send before I could second guess myself. The responses came fast. Most of them were angry. A few were disappointed. But there were a couple that surprised me. My cousin Talia, who I barely knew, sent, "Good for you. Wish I'd had your courage when my dad was drinking." An old neighbor, Mrs. Chen. "Your mother's addiction is not your responsibility. Take care of yourself, sweetie." And my dad. "Proud of you, that last one made me cry." Ugly cry, the kind where snot runs down your face and you can't breathe right. Tessa came in, saw me sobbing, and just sat next to me on the bed until I was done. "You good?" she asked when I finally stopped. "No, but I think I will be." 3 days went by without any contact from my mom. The rest of my family eventually stopped blowing up my phone. I fell back into my normal routine. Classes, studying, grabbing dinner with Tessa at the dining hall, pretending everything was fine. Except everything wasn't fine. I couldn't stop thinking about her, wondering if she was drinking, if she was okay, if she hated me. On Thursday, I had a shift at the campus library where I worked part-time shelving books. It was mindless work that paid minimum wage, but it gave me time to think. Or not think, depending on the day. I was in the back corner, reorganizing the history section that some freshmen had apparently used as a toy box, when I heard someone say my name. My mom was standing at the end of the aisle. She looked different. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail instead of hanging loose around her face. She was wearing actual jeans instead of the stretched-out sweatpants she usually wore around the house. Her eyes were clear. "How did you find me?" I asked. "Your roommate told me where you worked. I've been waiting outside for an hour working up the courage to come in. You're not supposed to be on campus." "I know. I'll leave if you want. But I needed to talk to you first." I glanced around. My supervisor was at the front desk, probably scrolling through her phone. No one else was nearby. 5 minutes, I said. Mom's hands were shaking. She shoved them in her pockets. "I'm sorry," she started. "For everything. For the drinking, for the arrest, for all of it. You were right to call the cops. You were right to not come to the bar. You were right about all of it." The words sounded practiced, like she'd been rehearsing them. "Are you sober?" I asked. 3 days. "That's good. I'm going to an outpatient program. Darcy's making me go. 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. They're helping me find a therapist too." "That's really good, Mom." She looked at me with wet eyes. "I want you to come home. I want us to fix this." There it was, the ask. The expectation that because she was trying, everything could go back to normal. "I can't do that," I said. "Please. I'm getting help. I'm doing everything right this time. You've said that before. This time is different. Is it? Or are you just scared because you got arrested and everyone saw what you really are?" She flinched like I'd slapped her. "That's not fair," she said. "You know what's not fair? Me spending my whole childhood taking care of you instead of the other way around. Me missing my midterm because you crashed the car drunk. Me having to be the adult since I was 12 years old. I know I screwed up. You didn't screw up. You chose alcohol over me every single day for 11 years. That wasn't a mistake. That was a choice." Mom was crying now. Real tears, not the manipulative kind she used to use to make me feel guilty. "I love you," she said. "I know. But love isn't enough. It's never been enough. So what, you're just done with me? After everything I did for you? And there it was, the victim card. Right on schedule. Everything you did for me? Like what, passing out on the couch? Forgetting to pick me up from school? Screaming at me when I didn't hide your drinking from Dad fast enough? I gave birth to you. I raised you. I kept a roof over your head. The bare minimum isn't something you get a medal for. We stood there staring at each other across the stacks of history books. Two people who shared DNA but didn't understand each other at all anymore. Maybe we never had. I'm trying, she said quietly. I know, and I hope you succeed. I really do. But I can't be part of your recovery right now. Maybe not ever. You're my daughter, and you're my mother. But that doesn't mean I have to keep drowning with you. Mom wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry, and that I'm trying. That's all. Okay, I hear you. Can I hug you? Every instinct I had screamed no. But some small part of me, the part that still remembered her tucking me in at night when I was little, before the drinking got bad, said yes. It was quick and awkward. She smelled like cigarettes and desperation. When she pulled back, she looked at me like she wanted to say something else. But she just nodded and walked away. I watched her leave the library, her shoulders hunched, looking smaller than I remembered. Then I went back to shelving books and tried to pretend my hands weren't shaking. 2 weeks later, I got a text from Jolene. Your mom completed her first week at the outpatient program. Thought you'd want to know. No pressure to respond. I didn't respond. Another week went by. Then another. Midterms came and went. Halloween happened, and Tessa dragged me to some costume party, where I spent the whole night feeling out of place in a black cat costume she'd lent me. Life kept moving forward whether I was ready or not. Then, on a random Tuesday in November, I got a letter. An actual physical letter in the mail. It was from my mom. The handwriting was shaky but legible. Dear sweetie, I'm writing this the old-fashioned way because I know you're not reading my texts. My therapist suggested it might help me process things even if you never read it. I've been sober for 5 weeks now. That's longer than I've been sober since before you were born. I'm not telling you this to make you proud of me or to get you to forgive me. I'm telling you because I want you to know I'm doing the work. Not for you. For me. My therapist asked me to write down all the ways my drinking affected you. I filled 6 pages front and back. Reading it back made me physically sick. I can't believe I did those things to you. I can't believe I made you responsible for me when I was supposed to be responsible for you. You were right about everything you said. I chose alcohol over you. I made you parent me. I ruined your childhood. Those aren't excuses. They're just facts I have to live with now. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking you to call me or come home. I'm just asking you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. And I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry. Your therapist probably told you that you don't owe me anything. She's right. But if there's ever a day when you think you might want to talk, I'll be here. Until then, I'll keep doing the work and hoping that's enough. Love, Mommy read it 3 times. Then I put it in my desk drawer and didn't look at it again for another month. During that month, my dad started calling more regularly. We talked about school, about his new job as a manager at a hardware store, about nothing and everything. He never brought up my mom unless I asked. How are you doing with all this? He asked one day. I don't know. Some days I feel fine, like I made the right choice and I can finally breathe. Other days I feel like the worst person alive. That's normal, is it? When I left your mom, I felt guilty for years. Kept thinking maybe if I'd tried harder, or gotten her into treatment sooner, or been more supportive. You know what my therapist told me? What? That you can't save someone from drowning if they keep pulling you under. Eventually, you have to let go or you both go down. I thought about that a lot over the next few weeks. Update. 1 month later, okay. So it's been about 6 weeks since my last post, and people have been messaging me asking what happened. The short version is, it's complicated. My mom's been sober for almost 3 months now. I know because Jolene keeps sending me these quick updates. Nothing pushy, just like 7 weeks or 9 weeks with a thumbs up emoji. I still haven't responded to any of my mom's texts or calls, but I did read all her letters. She's sent me one every week since that first one. They're all basically the same, updates on her sobriety, apologies for specific things she remembers doing, promises that she's not trying to manipulate me into coming back. The thing is, I don't know if I believe her yet. 3 months is longer than she's ever made it before, but it's still only 3 months. The longest she went when I was in high school was 2 months. And then she fell off the wagon so hard she ended up in the ER getting her stomach pumped. So yeah, I'm cautious. My Aunt Darcy has backed off completely. Apparently she's the one driving my mom to all her appointments and AA meetings, and my mom told her to leave me alone. That's something, I guess. The rest of the family is split. Half think I'm doing the right thing. Half think I'm a cold-hearted bitch who abandoned her sick mother. I've learned to live with both opinions. School is going better. I'm actually ahead in most of my classes for the first time since freshman year. Turns out when you're not constantly managing someone else's crisis, you have time for your own life. Wild concept. Tessa has been incredible through all this. She never pushes me to talk about it, but she's always there if I need to. Last week, she caught me reading one of my mom's letters and just sat next to me until I was ready to talk about it. "You think I'm a bad person?" I asked her. "For what?" "For not forgiving her. For not giving her another chance. I think you're a person who's protecting herself. There's nothing bad about that. But she's trying. She's really trying this time. So? You don't owe her anything just because she's finally doing what she should have been doing all along." That hit me hard. The idea that doing the right thing doesn't erase all the wrong things that came before. I've been seeing a therapist through the campus health center. Her name is Dr. Reeves, and she's pretty great. She's helping me work through all the guilt and anger and confusion. "Do you want a relationship with your mother?" she asked me last week. I don't know. Sometimes yes. Sometimes no. Mostly I just want to not think about her every day. That's fair. You're allowed to be unsure. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to set boundaries and stick to them or move them as needed. This isn't all or nothing. That was news to me. My whole life had been all or nothing with my mom. Either I was taking care of her or I was abandoning her. The idea that there could be something in between never occurred to me. So I'm trying to figure out what that in between looks like. Maybe it's reading her letters but not responding. Maybe it's eventually agreeing to a phone call. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know yet. What I do know is that for the first time in my life, I'm putting myself first. And if that makes me selfish, then I guess I'm learning to be okay with that. Update. The holidays. So Thanksgiving happened. That was fun. And by fun, I mean a complete disaster. My dad invited me to spend Thanksgiving with him and his girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. Her name is Lorraine, and she's actually really nice. She teaches second grade and has this huge golden retriever named Biscuit, who immediately became my favorite family member. We had a normal Thanksgiving. Turkey, stuffing, the whole thing. No drama, no one passed out drunk. No one screamed at anyone. It was weirdly nice, until my phone started blowing up around 7 p.m. My mom had apparently shown up at my Aunt Darcy's Thanksgiving dinner uninvited and drunk. First drink in 3 months, and she went straight off the deep end. Darcy was calling me crying about how she thought mom was doing so well, and how could this happen? I just sat there on my dad's couch with Biscuit's head in my lap and felt nothing. Not sadness, not anger, just nothing. "You okay?" Dad asked. She relapsed. He nodded slowly. "I'm sorry. I'm not surprised." And I wasn't. Part of me had been waiting for this the whole time. Waiting for proof that this time wasn't different, that she was still the same person she'd always been. Lorraine disappeared into the kitchen and came back with tea. She didn't say anything, just sat down next to me and handed me the mug. "What are you going to do?" Dad asked. "Nothing." "Nothing? What am I supposed to do?" "I can't fix her. I can't save her. I can only save myself." My phone kept buzzing. Darcy, Emmett, Jolene, numbers I didn't recognize. Everyone wanting me to do something. I turned it off and watched a movie with Dad and Lorraine. Biscuit snored on my feet the whole time. It was the best Thanksgiving I'd had in years. The next morning, I turned my phone back on to find 63 missed calls and over 100 texts. I read through them all. The story came together pretty quick. Mom showed up drunk. Started crying about how much she missed me, how I'd abandoned her, how this was all my fault because I wouldn't forgive her. She made a huge scene, knocked over a casserole dish, and tried to drive home. Darcy took her keys and called Jolene. They got her to the hospital where she spent the night sobering up in the ER. Again. Now everyone wanted to know if I was going to visit her. If I was going to help her get back on track. If I was going to be there for her now that she really needed me. I called Jolene. "I just wanted you to know what happened," she said. "But I'm not asking you to do anything. Your mom made this choice." What did she say? When she was sober? That she couldn't handle seeing everyone's families together while hers was broken. That she just wanted to stop feeling sad for one night. So she chose alcohol over everything else again. Yes. And everyone thinks I should feel sorry for her. Some people do. Some people don't. What do you think? Jolene was quiet for a long time. "I think your mom is very sick. I also think you're not her doctor or her therapist or her savior. You're just her daughter who deserves to have her own life." "Thank you," I said, and meant it. I didn't call my mom. I didn't visit her in the hospital. I didn't respond to any of the family members demanding I step up and help. I just went back to campus on Sunday and focused on studying for finals. Update, the truth comes. Out it's been 3 months since Thanksgiving. Finals came and went. Winter break happened, which I spent at my dad's place because there was no way I was going back to my childhood home. My mom spent Christmas and New Year's in rehab. Actual inpatient rehab this time, not just outpatient meetings. Darcy pulled some strings and got her into a 90-day program about 2 hours away. I got updates from Jolene, who apparently was still checking on my mom even though my mom wasn't attending AA meetings anymore. The updates were simple. "She's doing okay. She's struggling but hanging in there. She asked about you." I never responded. Then last week, Jolene called me instead of texting. "Your mom wants to see you," she said. "No, she's been sober for 60 days. She's doing the work. Really doing it this time. Good for her. She wrote you a letter. A real letter, not like the ones before. Her therapist helped her write it. She wants to make amends. That's step 9, right? Making amends. Yes. Sounds like that's more for her benefit than mine. Jolene sighed. I'm not going to push you, but I think you should read the letter before you decide. Fine. Send it. The letter came 2 days later. It was 8 pages long, handwritten, with some parts crossed out and rewritten like she'd been working on it for a while. Dear sweetie, my therapist says I need to make amends to the people I've hurt. She says amends aren't just saying sorry. They're acknowledging the specific harm I've done and taking responsibility for it, without making excuses. So here's what I did. I made you responsible for my illness when you were just a child. I forced you to be my parent instead of letting you be my daughter. I stole your childhood and made you grow up too fast. I lied to you hundreds of times. Every time I promised I'd stop drinking and then didn't. Every time I hid bottles and pretended I was sober. Every time I made you doubt your own eyes and ears, I put you in danger. All those times I left the stove on, or drove drunk with you in the car, or passed out and left you alone. You could have been seriously hurt or worse, and it would have been my fault. I made you feel guilty for wanting your own life, for going to college, for not answering my calls, for choosing yourself over me. That was manipulation, even if I didn't see it that way at the time. I blamed you for my problems. Said you abandoned me. Said you didn't love me enough. Said you were the reason I drank. None of that was true. I drank because I'm an alcoholic. And I didn't get help because I was too proud and too scared. I embarrassed you in front of your friends, your teachers, your neighbors. I made you ashamed of me and ashamed of yourself for being ashamed of me. I wasted the years we should have spent being a real family. Years I can never get back and you can never get back. My therapist asked me what I wanted from you. I thought about it for a long time. The truth is, I want forgiveness. I want you to come visit me. I want us to have a relationship again, but I don't get to decide if any of that happens. You do. So what I'm asking for is this. I'm asking you to know that I see what I did. All of it. I'm not making excuses. I'm not blaming anyone else. I'm not saying I did the best I could. I didn't. I failed you in every way a parent can fail a child. I'm also asking you to know that I'm doing the work now. Not because I think it will make you forgive me, but because I owe it to myself and to you to be better. Even if it's too late for us, it's not too late for me to stop being the person who hurt you. If you never want to see me again, I'll accept that. If you need more time, I'll accept that too. If someday, maybe years from now, you decide you want to try having some kind of relationship, I'll be here. Until then, I'm just going to keep showing up for myself and hope that's enough. I love you. I'm sorry. And I release you from any obligation to fix me or forgive me or be anything other than what you need to be. Mom, I read that letter, sitting on my dorm room floor, and cried for the first time in months, not because I forgave her, not because everything was magically okay, but because for the first time in my entire life, my mother was taking actual responsibility for what she'd done to me, without excuses, without guilt trips, without making it about her pain, and I didn't know what to do with that. Update: the visit I decided to visit her, not because I forgave her or because I thought we were going to have some Hallmark reunion, but because Dr. Reeves said maybe I needed to see for myself if this time was really different. The rehab facility was about 2 hours away, tucked in the woods in this old converted mansion that probably used to be some rich person's summer house. It looked more like a fancy hotel than what I'd imagined rehab would look like. I had to sign in at the front desk, and they called up to my mom's room to make sure she wanted a visitor. A few minutes later, a woman in scrubs came down and escorted me to a visiting room. My mom was already there, sitting in a chair by the window. She looked different, healthier. Her eyes were clear, and her skin didn't have that gray tinge it usually had. She'd gained a little weight. She looked like a person instead of a ghost. We stared at each other for a long moment. "Hi," she said finally. "Hi. Thank you for coming." "I didn't think you would." I almost didn't. The counselor who'd brought me up said she'd be right outside if we needed anything, then left us alone. Mom twisted her hands in her lap. I don't really know what to say. I rehearsed this a million times and now my mind is blank. You don't have to say anything. "I got your letter. Did you read it?" "Yes." "All of it?" "All of it." She let out a breath. "Good, that's good." We sat in silence for a while. Outside the window, I could see other patients walking around the grounds with counselors or each other. Everyone looked tired but purposeful. "How are you doing?" I asked finally. "Better. Not great, but better. The first few weeks were hell. Detoxing, withdrawal, all of it. But I'm through that part now." "That's good. How are you?" "Fine, busy with school." More silence. This was excruciating. "I'm sorry I wasn't there for you," she said suddenly. "At your graduation, at your dance recitals, at parent-teacher conferences. I'm sorry I was drunk or hungover or just not present. I'm sorry I made everything about me." "Okay. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just need you to know I see it now. I see everything I missed, everything I ruined." I looked at her, really looked at her. She was crying, but it wasn't the manipulative crying I was used to. This was quiet, almost private. Like she was crying for herself, not for me. What changed? I asked. What? You've been to treatment before. You've promised to change before. What's different this time? She thought about that. This time I'm not doing it for you or for Darcy or for anyone else. I'm doing it because I'm tired of being this person. I'm tired of waking up and not remembering the night before. I'm tired of looking in the mirror and hating what I see. I'm tired of being a burden to everyone I love. So you're doing it for you. Yes. Is that selfish? No, I think that's the first unselfish thing you've done in years. She laughed, then started crying harder. I've wasted so much time. Yeah, you have. Can I ask you something? I nodded. Do you hate me? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. I don't hate you. I'm angry at you. I'm hurt. I'm sad about everything we lost. But I don't hate you. That's more than I deserve. Probably. We talked for another hour. Not about anything deep. Just small talk. She told me about her roommate at the facility. This woman named Joyce, who'd been an executive at some company and lost everything to cocaine. I told her about my classes and Tessa and how Biscuit the golden retriever had become my emotional support animal. When visiting hours were up, the counselor came back to walk me out. Can I hug you? Mom asked. I hesitated, then nodded. It was longer than the hug in the library. Tighter. She smelled like the lavender soap they must use at the facility. Thank you for coming, she said into my shoulder. You're welcome. Will you come back? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, that's fair. I drove home in silence, trying to process what I was feeling. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't trust. But it was something. Maybe the tiniest beginning of hope. Maybe. Final update, 6 months later. It's been half a year since I visited my mom in rehab. A lot has happened since then. She finished the 90-day program, then voluntarily stayed for another 60 days. When she finally came home, she moved in with Darcy instead of going back to our old house. She said being in that house made her want to drink. She got a job at a call center answering customer service calls. It's not glamorous, but it's steady and has insurance. She goes to AA meetings 3 times a week. She has a sponsor, not Jolene, but someone else who's been sober for 15 years. I see her once a month. We meet for coffee at this diner halfway between her place and campus. We keep it short. An hour, maybe 2. We talk about surface stuff mostly, work, school, the weather. It's awkward and careful and nothing like what a mother-daughter relationship should be, but it's honest. And that's more than we've ever had before. She's been sober for 8 months. That's longer than she's been sober in my entire life. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I know relapse is possible. I know this could all fall apart tomorrow. So I keep my boundaries strong. I don't give her money. I don't let her guilt me into spending more time with her than I'm comfortable with. I don't make her my responsibility anymore. Dr. Reeves says I'm doing really well, that I've made huge progress in therapy, that I'm learning to put myself first without feeling guilty about it. I'm trying to believe her. My dad and Lorraine got engaged. They're getting married next summer and they want me to be in the wedding. I said yes. Biscuit is going to be the ring bearer because of course he is. My mom asked if she was invited. I said that was up to Dad. He said no, not this time. Maybe someday, but not this time. She took it better than I expected. Tessa is still my best friend and the person who keeps me sane. She's decided to take a gap year after graduation to travel through Europe. I'm jealous, but also happy for her. As for me, I'm finishing up my sophomore year. My grades are good. I'm thinking about majoring in social work, maybe working with families dealing with addiction, using all this trauma for something productive. Someone asked me in the comments of my last post if I'd forgiven my mom yet. The answer is complicated. I've forgiven her for being sick, for being an addict, for having a disease she didn't choose, but I haven't forgiven her for all the times she chose alcohol over me, for all the lies, for making me grow up too fast, for stealing my childhood. Maybe someday I will. Maybe I won't. I'm learning that forgiveness isn't required for healing, that I can move forward without having everything resolved and tied up in a neat bow. My mom is doing the work to be better. That's great. I genuinely hope she succeeds, but her sobriety isn't my responsibility. Her happiness isn't my job. Her recovery isn't about me, and learning that has been the most freeing thing I've ever done. So that's where things stand. No perfect ending, no complete resolution, just a work in progress, which I guess is all any of us really are. If you're dealing with someone else's addiction, here's what I learned. You can love someone and still protect yourself from them. You can want someone to get better and still refuse to be part of their sickness. You can hope for the best and prepare for the worst at the same time. And most importantly, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm, not even your mother, especially not your mother. Thanks for following along with this mess. Take care of yourselves out there. Unexpected update. 1 year later, I wasn't going to update again. Thought my story was done. But something happened yesterday that I needed to process. And you guys have been part of this journey from the beginning, so here we are. My mom relapsed 3 months ago. I didn't tell anyone because I was tired of talking about it. Tired of everyone having opinions. She made it almost a full year sober. Then my grandmother, her mother, died suddenly of a heart attack. Mom fell apart. Started drinking the day of the funeral. Darcy found her passed out in the bathroom of the funeral home with an empty vodka bottle. I found out from Darcy's text. Didn't call. Didn't visit. Just acknowledged the information and went on with my life. Harsh? Maybe. But I'd finally gotten to a place where my mom's choices didn't control my emotional state, and I wasn't going back. She went back to rehab. A different facility this time, 30 days instead of 90. Got out and went back to meetings and her job and all the things you're supposed to do. And yesterday she called me. We haven't talked on the phone since before the Camry incident. All our communication since then has been texts about when to meet for coffee or her leaving voicemails I don't listen to. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hi, honey," she said, and her voice was shaky. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to call and tell you something." "Okay. I've been sober for 90 days. And my sponsor said I needed to call the people I love and tell them something true. I waited. The truth is, I don't blame you for protecting yourself from me. I don't blame you for not visiting when I relapsed. I don't blame you for not believing me when I say I'm doing better this time. You don't owe me your trust. I broke it too many times. I literally didn't know what to say. The other truth is that I'm proud of you. You're doing so well in school. You're building a life that doesn't revolve around me. You're becoming this amazing person and I had nothing to do with it. That kills me, but it also makes me so proud I could burst. My throat was tight. And the last truth is that I love you. I've always loved you, even when I was too drunk to show it. Even when I chose alcohol over you. The love was always there, buried under all the sickness. And I need you to know that. Mom, I'm not asking for anything. I'm not trying to guilt you into forgiving me or seeing me more or anything like that. I just needed you to hear those things from me. Okay, that's all. I'll let you go. Wait, yeah? I'm proud of you too. For getting back up after you fell down. For trying again, even though it's hard. I could hear her crying. "Thank you," she whispered. "You're welcome." We hung up. I sat there in my apartment. Tessa had moved out after graduation, so I had the place to myself now and just cried. Not sad crying. Not happy crying. Just releasing something I'd been holding on to. Dr. Reeves would probably have a field day with this in our next session. Here's the thing I've realized. My mom is probably always going to be an alcoholic. She might stay sober for years, or she might relapse again next month. I have no control over that, but I do have control over how I respond to it. And I'm choosing to respond with compassion from a distance. With hope that doesn't require my involvement. With love that doesn't sacrifice my own well-being. Is that enough? I don't know, but it's all I've got right now, and maybe that's okay.